turn it off. Now we won't get interrupted with the phone, will we? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is Thursday morning. The spirit world sees all. Yes, it does. And I hope that those of you who are watching also watch story time, because oh my goodness, I don't know if you've noticed this, but sorry, I'm ahead of myself. First of all, so let's say good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning to my spirit guide Grey Eagle, who is to my right side, and let's say good morning to Chris. Good morning, Chris.
Good morning, everyone.
I was going to say, I don't know if you've noticed, Chris, uh, how many emails we've had about last week's story time. It seems it was very effective for an awful lot of people. And it really did illustrate, and does illustrate, that story does illustrate exactly how clearly and how much the spirit world can see us, which is why we titled this show "The Spirit World Sees All," because uh, you know, they really do. It's not that they're spying on us, though. I want to point that out. That, you know, nobody's spying on anybody. It's not the Big Brother thing. Wouldn't that be awful, Chris? If if it was Big Brothers watching. But it is our loved ones in the spirit world who are watching us, and they're watching over us, and it's our angels who are watching over us and making sure that we're doing okay, not to interfere with us in any way, shape, or form, and certainly not to stop us from making those mistakes or to dictate to us how we should behave and so on. But just knowing that they are there, some of the comments that we've had back from people after story time sort of did make me smile a little bit, because like me, once you get it, once you really get that the spirit world not only sees all, but they are able to read the thoughts in your head, they know what you're thinking, there are no secrets whatsoever. And when I first realized, I can remember, gosh, years and years and years ago, I can remember being in my kitchen, and for some reason I was up into the wall cupboards, and got everything out, and I was scrubbing and cleaning, and I was muttering to myself about this, that, and the other. Not that I didn't like cleaning, because I don't mind cleaning out cupboards. I quite enjoy it, actually, sorting things out. I was doing that yesterday as well. But I was sort of having a little mutter to myself, and I was thinking about things, and it occurred to me, as I'm sort of got my head inside the cupboard and scrubbing it all out and cleaning everything out, that you know, I really need to be aware of the things that I'm thinking. I need to be aware of my mind, my attitude. I need to be aware, and I need to step up and to in some ways to change or to improve the way that I'm thinking, to be nicer, to be kinder, to be happier, therefore healthier, and so on. And it occurred to me all those many years ago, once I realized that the spirit world, you know, they are around us, they do surround us, and they are with us, and it isn't the Big Brother thing. So just be clear about that. It isn't that they're trying to determine who we are or what we should be or how we should think. It is that they are just checking on us to make sure that we're okay. Just as I check on my daughter and my grandson to make sure that they are okay. Yesterday was the first time for as long as I can remember that I did not speak to my daughter, and I did not speak to my grandson. Uh, Obviously they were busy. My daughter was sort of crazy, doing all sorts of different things, and I think by the time Reese got to bed, I think they were both collapsing. And this morning, what I did, the very first thing was I called my daughter, and she didn't pick up because she was taking Reese to school. But she called me back about 10 minutes later, and I said, I didn't speak to you yesterday. Where were you? And she was so apologetic. But, you know, even so, it's important, I think, with the ones we love, to speak to them as often as you can. And I speak to my child and grandchild several times in a day usually. So to go a day without speaking to him, gee, Crikey Riley, I didn't like that at all, not one little bit. If you are not as fortunate as I am, if you are one of those people who maybe only speaks once a week or once a month or something, you can keep them in your thoughts, and you can think about them on a daily basis and send out loving thoughts. You can also pick up the telephone, and you can also, with everything that's going on right now, don't wait for other people to call you. You call them. That's the thing. If you wait for other people to call you, they get carried away, they get busy, they get thinking about other things. It's not that they don't love you, it's just that life takes over. Be like me. Press that button. Don't be afraid to call, even if they think you're a pain in the butt and they really wish you'd stop calling. Keep calling anyway. What do you think about that, Chris?
Well, I've got a large family, and you and I were talking earlier about my nephew Daniel's birthday today, and just doing a simple little video to cheer them up actually cheers you up probably 10 times more. So
Yeah.
absolutely reaching out.
Yeah, you have to, and I think people are thinking, oh my goodness, what a fuss, not having spoken to a daughter in a whole day. Yeah, it is a fuss because she's actually the only family that I've got, and she's the only family. Wait a minute, yeah, I'm the only family that she's got. So there's just the three of us, really. So it's very important. And I'm never, ever going to let that connection go. Of course, I'm fortunate because I have tons of friends. So it's not that I'm not without people. It's just that my family is the most important to me, and my family is very, very tiny. So I make absolutely certain that we connect with them as often as possible, even if it means several times in a day. My grandson, a couple of days ago, he called me to see if I wanted to play House Party. It's this new game that they have. It's a video thing, so you can see each other, but there's questions and quizzes and all sorts of things. And sometimes the questions go by so fast, or they're so small, I can't read them, but there's always a multiple choice answer, so sometimes it's a click. Just sometimes I get it right, sometimes I don't get it right. We have so much fun doing that, so there's always something that you can do. Okay, Chris, so what's up today? Do we have anybody watching us? I mean, is it wait, because I love it, I love to say it. Is there anybody there?
I cannot imagine a day that there wouldn't be.
Well, you never know.
It does shock me to hear that you didn't talk to Samantha and Reese yesterday, because all these years I've known you, it's been a daily occurrence basically.
I don't recall the last time it happened. And but my daughter's working to a deadline, and I don't know what Reese was doing. He was obviously on a play date or some such, and it's good in a way that they're busy enough that they don't, that they don't need to talk to me, or they don't. It's a good thing for them, not such a good thing for me. And it's not going to happen again, I'll tell you, anytime soon.
Well, you have Mark and Megan and Joanne all saying hello from Tulsa and from Australia. I'm not sure where Megan's from, but
So
she
we've just
says,
got 3 people on today.
oh no, these are the ones saying hello.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Megan's saying, good morning, gorgeous. You are my sunshine. Have a lovely day.
Oh, wow. Love that. Well, thank you, darling. I appreciate it.
And a lot of people are saying, sending you hearts for what you've said so far this morning, Bright Star
Oh, that's
and
so nice.
Ada. But the first question today, are you ready for that?
Oh, I don't know. What do you think, Chris?
I think you are.
Let's go then.
All right. So Dan's asking,
Good
who
morning, Dan.
who watches over us the most, our guardian angels or our spirit guides?
Our loved ones in the spirit world are the ones who watch over us the most. those of our family and our friends. That shocked some of you, didn't it? You expected me to say guardian angels, didn't you? But no. Look, our angels, they are there with us, and they obviously keep an eye on us. But you have to remember that angels are. We're going to talk about this more. We're going to do a Christmas webinar all about angels, aren't we, Chris?
Yes.
So get ready for that, everybody. We are. You have to understand that angels are messengers of God, for God. They are not directed by our wishes. They are not directed by our needs. They are directed by God, God's will, and God's needs. So they are messengers of God. So basically, imagine that this being, this energy that is out there saying, okay, she needs this and he needs that, and so on. God may send his angels to help us and to guide us, but if we pray for them to come to us, and we can pray as hard as we like, if God says no, it's a no, because angels are very special beings. They are incredible beings. And they don't have time to be mucking about with every one of us if it's not necessary. This is one of the reasons I wrote my book, Angels in Training. I wrote it actually with my daughter, and what it is, it's a series of exercises. It's a series of things to do. It's a series of suggestions that you can do to help our angels, because if you can imagine, our angels must be very overworked. I've got Gregor laughing at me now when I'm saying this, but they are in fact very overworked. So I believe that we should help our angels in every way we can. So that's why I wrote the Angels in Training book, because it gives 52 suggestions. That's like one something a week that you can do, that we all can do, that will help our angels to help us, and it will help our angels to help others also. For instance, my neighbor next door a few years ago, Dorothy, she was very old. She was, she was, I won't say she was decrepit. She was lovely, actually. She was really lovely, but she was tough. And she had no one visiting her ever at all. So trying to be a little angel, I made sure that at least 2 or 3 times every week I went over and had a drink with her. Sometimes it was not an easy thing to do. I would make sure if I went to the grocery store, which would probably be at least 2 or 3 times a week, that I would call her or knock on the door and say, I'm going to Walmart, or I'm going to somewhere or another. Do you want anything? She would always say yes, even if she didn't need anything. Because if she said yes to me, it meant that I would be going back there to take the milk or to take the bread or whatever it was she wanted. And that would mean that I would come in and I would spend some time with her, which I did. So, there are things like that, little things that we can do to help our neighbors, to help our friends, to help our families, and also to help our own selves, so that our angels have a little bit less work to do. So, this is why I called the book Angels in Training, because I think we all should be angels in training. As for spirit guides, most people do not have a spirit guide. I wonder if we'll be talking about that this Saturday, Chris. What do you think? We might be talking about that a little bit this Saturday. What's the difference between an angel, a spirit guide, and our loved ones in the spirit world? What are the differences? And there are differences. So our loved ones in the spirit world, I think, are the ones who, they care for us the most, they nurture us the most, and they're the ones who come to us whenever we need them.
And you're talking about Saturday for your webinar, right? Not that we're doing the Saturday's show.
Saturday, Saturday for the webinar. So the webinar is, you put the link up there, right?
Yes.
The webinar is, it's a sort of a 2 hour, you can still get tickets. It's a 2 hours with me talking about mediumship, talking about what it means, talking about can we actually, do we need somebody like me? Can we connect with our loved ones, our own selves? It's trying to sort of sort out the myths of what a medium does, and the myths of what do the people in the spirit world look like then? What are they? Because you hear some mediums who, and I've heard this myself and been mind boggled by it. Children do not have when the children pass, somebody said they do not have a body. Somebody said, I heard this with my own two ears, medium on TV a while ago, saying, "Oh no, spirits don't have legs." That was funny, because for several months after that, every now and again, somebody would come from the spirit world and deliberately show me their legs and do a little jig or a little dance just to have a bit of fun. There are so many things that people say that are not true, that are myths. And so Saturday we're going to be talking about some of those things, and things like, what is another one? Somebody has to have died for at least a year before they can talk to you. Is it true or false? I feel like I'm talking to my grandson Reese. Multiple multiple questions, multiple answers. Sorry. True or false? Is it true that somebody has to have died a year before they're able to contact us? And if it isn't true, how long is it before somebody is able to contact us? There are so many questions that we're going to endeavor to answer, and I'm going to address. I'm going to address the fact of mediumship. I'm going to address the fact of how can we tell the difference between somebody who is real and somebody who is deliberately fake. And then there's those lovely people who they're so very well meaning, they're so wonderful, very well meaning, but do not have the ability, but sort of in their own mind they do. And I think they're the worst, because genuinely they want to help, and unfortunately they muck it all up and make people very confused about what we should expect from somebody like myself. So we're going to be talking about all of those things on Saturday. I think that's answered your question, right, Chris?
I think it did.
Okay.
Well, you have still lots of people on. So Mark is the next one in line. Rosemary, does my personal angel G and spirit guide have any message for me? I tell them I am open to hear them. Will I one day see them? I know they are near. I need them very much these days.
Okay, I'm going to suggest to you that you look to your family. I'll give you this message. It's not a personal, it's not a straight from somebody in the spirit world, but it's from Great Eagle, who tells me to tell you that there is a lovely man who absolutely loves you. I'm going to say sort of like a father or grandfather figure, and that's where you should be looking. That's where you should be paying attention. And again, coming back to Saturday, I'm going to be giving people lots of tips and lots of help as to how can we then listen to our loved ones in the spirit world. How can we connect with our loved ones in the spirit world without using somebody like me? Can we in fact do it? And if so, how? So that's one of the things that we're going to be talking about on Saturday. Yes, Chris, keep going.
All right, Lauren is on.
Good morning, Lauren.
I know this is a personal question, but I would really love to know if I'm supposed to pursue nursing school, even though it's expensive, if I should stay in my current career that I'm excelling in, or completely do something else.
Oh gosh, this is when we need an hour. This is when I need an hour with you, because it isn't just a simple, straightforward thing. If you're enjoying the job that you're in, there's no reason for you to leave it. And if you're excelling in it, it does seem that I don't think you can excel in any job unless you do enjoy parts of it or elements of it. But this is what I suspect is going on with you. I would like to spend more time with you, of course, but you know, we're not doing consultations this morning, are we? I'm trying to give you a heads up from Grey Eagle and from myself. It sounds to me very much as if you are a natural healer. It sounds very much as if you have that calling, or you feel that that is a gift to you. There, you don't necessarily, and again, I would like to spend more time with you, and I don't want to send you down a wrong path here. So this is why I'm being careful. But it sounds like you could fulfill those needs by learning about healing, by perhaps even becoming a healer your own self, while still staying in the job that you're in. There are other options. You know, you've given the option of, you know, stay in the job or go to nursing school, as if there's no choices in between. And I really do feel, my darling, that there are lots of choices in between. And if I don't know where you live, if you have somebody that you know, or that you've heard of a medium who is real, it's hard to find, but if you know of a medium who is real, or somebody who can help you and give you advice, I think that's the road you need to be on, because I don't think it's an either or situation for you. I think you've got some multiple choices there. I probably confuse you even more now, haven't I, Chris?
Well, she also says, thank you for everything you do and are, Rosemary.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you.
Okay, Delphine is on next.
Good morning, Delphine.
And she's from Belgium, so she starts with good evening, everyone. I wish everyone a lot of love and light. I have a little trouble with my work. Would you happen to get a message about this?
Delphine, yes. Actually, I don't know why, but I was going to say no, but right there goes. We have Grey Eagle with us, of course, thank goodness. Lots and lots of changes, but there's also, I think, a change going on within you too. You know, I think it's for now, the best advice that I can give you, the Grey Eagle is actually giving to you, is keep your head down. Don't make waves. Keep your head down. Keep doing what you're doing. I think the situation that you're in now will blow over as long as you keep your head down. If you want to make a fuss, you'll need to be thinking about perhaps later on getting another job. But if you keep your head down and just allow the river to flow the way it should, because right now, even if you tried to change, you would sort of come up against, you know, you can't, as I say to people, you can't turn the river. The river flows this way. If you stand in the river and try to change it, it won't happen. So if you keep your head down and wait for that moment when you either feel comfortable with going with the river, in other words, going with the energy of your company, and just keep on going and wait for things to get better, you know, you'll be fine and you'll survive that. But if you really try to turn the river, or you say no, I don't like this, and let's do it another way, you're going to be damaging yourself, and it's not going to work out anyway. So the advice is keep your head down, my darling, and just let the river flow for now. You'll have your chance, you'll have your opportunity, but for now, just let it flow. Yes, Chris.
Ruth Ann saying hello from Oklahoma, and Terry saying hello from West Virginia.
Good morning. Oh gosh. But there's a song. It just went right in my head and out again about West
Oklahoma?
Virginia.
Oh, okay.
No. Oh, I know the Oklahoma one.
Yeah.
Annie, get your gun or something, wasn't it?
You would know better.
I bet people from Oklahoma hate it when people like me say that. Go ahead.
Okay, Caddy saying,
morning.
I agree about calling and connecting with friends and family. The same for calling your transitioned loved ones. Call them by speaking their name, talking to them, and thinking of them.
Exactly. You forgot one important thing. Just, I'm sure you know this, but for those who don't, not just calling their name, not just talking to them, but please, the most important thing is, would you listen to them? Listen. You've got to be patient and you've got to listen. Otherwise, you're not going to get anywhere at all. Yes, Chris.
Janet's asking, Will
Good
I
morning.
s- will I succeed in my training and pass the national certification exam?
Oh, goodness me. Uh, right. Here's a message for you from Grey Eagle, which is absolutely go for it. You're on a roll. Stop doubting yourself. Just keep going. You can do whatever it is you set your mind to doing. Hesitation will cost you. That's it, Chris. That's all I've got.
I think that's a lot. Um, it's interesting this morning. Everybody wants to let you know where they're from. So Christina's from Canada and Ada's from Mexico.
I
So
did ask last week, if you remember, can you let us know where you're from? Because we love to have, all these different places. It sort of feels sort of like we've got a multinational show going on here, and I love that. So thank you, everybody, for letting me know where you live. And Mexico, wow, I wonder which part of Mexico, on the beaches or yeah. Anyway, go ahead, Chris. Sorry, I'm getting carried away now.
well, now you're planning your next trips, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Immerse is on from this. Is it called Surrey? Surrey in the UK?
S- Sorry,
Surrey. So it's Surrey. I wanted to pronounce it right.
Surrey in Kent. Yes,
Okay. So
yes.
Immerse is on from that.
Good.
Um,
It's lovely
Kala,
there.
Kala is saying good day, Rosemary and Gray Eagle, and everyone from Canada. Can I ask to Gray Eagle if I have a spirit guide and their name?
No, you cannot ask if you have a spirit guide. Didn't I just say, were you not listening, my darling? Um, the majority of people who have spirit guides is such a small percentage. But if you said to me, do you have loved ones in your family who are guiding and steering you or doing their best anyway, you really need to listen more. The answer to that would be yes, absolutely. So please, all of you out there, who have this idea of spirit guides and what they do and so on, a spirit guide is a highly evolved spiritual entity. It's like asking the head of the head of the New York hospital to be constant by the side of a first year nurse. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. It's a spirit guide is only that person, but that person who only is with those who work full time in the capacity of a full time healer or medium or spiritual worker. That's what I want to say. Yes. Yes, Chris.
All right, Sashi's on.
Good morning.
Good to see you again. My mother has been trying to purchase land near my house, but somehow she's not able to purchase it due to some or other obstacle. Do you think we will be able to purchase the land? Thank you in advance and have a fabulous and sunshiny day.
And you too have a fabulous and sunshiny day. And from what I'm going to tell you, I think you will have a fabulous and sunshiny day. There is a little hiccup with this land, and there seems to be one person standing between you and or your mother and the purchase of this land. You need to find out who that person is. Somebody is creating a holdup or a block for whatever reason. It is purchasable, so it's not like you're trying to buy a piece of land that isn't for sale. It's I think there is a holdup, and I think there's one person causing that holdup. So if you can find who that one person is, and the suggestion from Grey Eagle is don't go head on with that person, go around that person. Go around that person. Find out another way around, because the land is purchasable, and if you do find the way around and you do persevere, you'll get exactly what it is that you want. There you go, Chris.
Vicky's asking a question.
Morning, Vicky.
Speaking of staying in touch, my son passed over 6 years ago. He would have been turning 23 on November 9th. Is he still coming around us as much today to visit, or is it less the longer he's gone?
I'm as I'm listening to you, I'm also listening to Grey Eagle. Um, our loved ones in the spirit world, they do have things to do. It's not that they're not sort of sitting there twiddling their thumbs, as I'm sure you know. They're not twiddling their thumbs just, waiting for the opportunity to talk to you. They're busy, busy, busy. But this, I feel, is what happens when they feel the need to visit. They do. And it might be that they're lonely, or it might be that they just want to check in. Or I just sent a text to somebody this morning saying, I'm just checking in to make sure you're okay. I haven't spoken to this person in several months, but I'm just checking in because I felt, oh, I need to reach out to this person. And in the same way, those in the spirit world occasionally will feel, oh, I just need to reach out to see how my family are doing, just need to reach out to see what's going on. However, in those times when there are joyful moments in a family, celebratory moments in a family, when there is hurt and upset in a family, when there are things that are going on emotionally, this is when our loved ones in the spirit world, and this is where your son will sort of definitely want to come and connect with you, just to let you know that he's there, either to celebrate or to commiserate whatever it is that's going on in your life. It isn't that he's coming less, it's that he's busy, but I, I have Grey Eagle's hand on my shoulder right here. So this is a message for you from your son. I'm often there. I'm always there when you need me. So I hope that eases you a little bit. Don't think he's gone off and forgotten all about you, because there's no way he's ever going to do that. Yes, Chris.
Kala's asking, and if any message from Gray Eagle for me, thank you in advance.
Who is it? Who's asking?
Kala, Kala.
Carla? Not right now, my sweetheart, but that doesn't mean you can't keep trying, right?
All right. Francesca says, good morgen, Rosemary. Kisses from Belgium.
Guten Morgen, is it? Yeah, that'll do. That's the extent of my knowledge of the Belgium accent. But anyway, go ahead. Yes, Chris.
I might only have half a message here. We'll see in a minute. Megan saying, good morning, darling. With the world so heavy right now, I've been praying so hard. Trying to see if the message got split up here. Oh, I have been praying to my angels to please send some signs to the loved ones to keep them going. Is there any message from either? Give me 1 second here. From my niece for her mama and sisters, or nephew for his family, or maybe hubby from his dad.
It sounds to me that, like, the yeah, okay. So the one message that is coming through is that they do send their love to all of you, but it sounds to me that at some point in the future you might need to come and see somebody like myself, maybe for a consultation, because you sound like you've got lots of questions and lots of issues. And that's as much as I would like to spend the next half hour just chatting with you and seeing if I can connect in the way that is necessary, I think, for you to have connection. Unfortunately, we do not have time on these shows. It's just a brief, but Bradle is saying that your family in the spirit world are blowing kisses to all of you, and they know how very difficult it is. In fact, Gradle tells me that there are lots of tears at this moment in time for a young one lost. So just to tell you, everything is fine and everything is as it should be in the spirit world. You can grieve, but perhaps not be so despondent. Chris.
All right. Suzanne is on next.
Good morning,
Hi.
Suzanne.
I love that you take effort to be in touch with your family on such a regular basis. This morning, I took a walk in the park with my mom, bless her, and we did a bit of silly things, laughing out loud and enjoying that. She's been promised a puppy soon, something she's longed for a while. Is there some information for my mother about that situation? Bless you and your loved ones.
Um, well, uh, hmm, uh, all I can tell you is that there is a puppy coming then. Um, just be careful. All of you out there, we're talking about little puppies, and you all know how I feel about my little puppy. I'm looking for him. I don't quite know where he is right now. He's probably snuggled up in his bed, sound asleep. He's as deaf as a post now. But these little creatures, they depend on us. Even the biggest of dogs, to me, are little creatures. They depend on us. So just make sure, all of you out there, if you're thinking of getting a dog for somebody else, make sure that, first of all, that they want it, and second of all, it's a dog that they'll be able to handle. It is a dog that they will fill the needs, especially if somebody is older. They might just want a dog who's willing to snuggle on their lap and cuddle up and curl up and just be one of those, wonderful lap dogs. Or, it could be that they need something a bit more, sort of challenging. Um, so do be careful when you're choosing a puppy for somebody else. Make sure that they're involved in the choosing. Make sure that you find the right breed, because there's nothing worse than getting somebody a dog, that person finding it's too exhausting or too hard for them to take care of the dog because it's not the right breed, and then having to give the dog back. And you do not want to do that. So please be careful, all of you out there. Christmas is coming, and I know how important these things can be to people. And I know, I'm sure, darling, your mother is, desperately wanting a companion. So make sure that it is a puppy that gives her companionship. I'm going to recommend, sort of the good old spaniel. You can get miniature spaniels. You can get my Cachorro, he's a field spaniel. He's a cocker spaniel, but bred for the field. But they're the kinds of dogs, you make sure that you've got the breed that sort of will snuggle up and cuddle up, and it doesn't take up, isn't too expensive, doesn't have lots of issues, eye issues, or sort of health issues. There are lots of things that go into choosing an animal, so do please be careful, all of you out there. Yes, Chris.
Francesca wants to let you know that she's read all of your books.
Oh, thank you, Francesca. Uh, I hope you like them. Mind you, I think you must, because if you've read them all, that must mean that you read the first one and you liked it so much that you went and got the next one and the next one. So thank you for that. I really, really appreciate your support. I feel I've got a fan in you. Would that be true to say? Yes, Chris. It reminds me, I know it's a whole different subject, but there'll be those of you out there who'll be surprised to know that one of my favorite movie stars is Sylvester Stallone. Uh, I love his Rambo movies. And over the last 2 or 3 weeks, I have actually been reacquainting myself and trying to watch all of them. So I do get why people get involved in things. A completely different thing. Why am I thinking of it even, Chris? Why am I even going there? My daughter is horrified because one of my favorite movies is The Punisher. Not The Punisher 2. It's a whole different thing. But The Punisher with, I've forgotten his name now. Somebody Jane. His surname is Jane. I've forgotten his name. But anyway, it is the most violent movie you've ever seen. John Travolta's in that movie as well. It's a seriously violent movie. But it's so funny. It's so good, so full of action. And the violence isn't the sort of the blood and gore sort of thing. It's, anyway. Moving on, Chris. Moving on. I am destroying my spiritual persona here, little bit by little bit as I'm talking. So can you shut me up and give me another question, please?
I know how you were explaining the Rambo story to me the other day. Even though that's a violent movie, the reasons it came into being are very spiritual.
Yeah, they are very. Yeah, and Sylvester Sylvester Stallone. There's a story about his dog. I think that's the one I told you about, isn't it? There's a story about when he was sort of before he was famous and writing his first movie script, and he with his dog. Anyway, you can all look that up. Google it. He's a great guy. But I also think, you know, a lot of the Rambo movies are about Vietnam, and I think that's educational as well. It is for me because I'm British and we didn't really know much about Vietnam when it was going on. Anyway, moving on. Next question.
All right. So Mark says, Rosemary, only you
Yes.
know this and no one else. I'm always into how people sound and speak. What does Gray Eagle's voice sound like? What does his laugh sound like? I love you and him so much and grateful for all of you.
Wow, Mark, you've wowed me now. I don't think anybody has ever asked me that question. Isn't that amazing, Chris?
I thought that when I read it myself. I don't remember you saying so.
Nobody's ever asked me that question. So, um, hmm, so how does his voice sound? He's describing it to me as we're talking to. So, all right, we're having a bit of fun here. So soft, gentle, but at the same time, sort of very. It's very male. It's not like it's not a. When I say soft, I mean in a lovely rich way. So anyway, that's how does my voice sound to all of you out there? Mark, can you describe my voice to me? I'd be very interested if you could. His laugh is when he laughs out loud, he literally throws his head back and laughs, and he has a fantastic loud laugh that you can't help but join in with. So that's the best. You try it. I'm turning the tables on you. What does my voice sound like? Okay, right, Chris.
Okay. Christina is on.
Yes, good morning.
My dad passed in January and his birthday is tomorrow. Someone said those who leave early in life are called back to a bigger mission. I'm wondering if he is an angel or a guide.
You see, there you go. We were talking earlier on about the webinar on Saturday, and the things that people say, and the you know, is this a myth that when somebody goes early, it's because they've gone to a bigger mission or something? Is that true, or is that simply a myth? And it's not an easy question to answer, but when it's your time, it's your time. And we're on a mission while we're here on this earth. We're on a mission to learn, to grow, to become more spiritually aware, to grow our soul, to encourage our soul to become more light, to become more bright. So you could say, we're on a mission here, and we continue that mission as when we leave here. That's as much as I can say about it right now. We may well talk more about that um, uh, in the webinar on Saturday. In the meantime, I hope you've got him a cake, and I hope you're going to celebrate his birthday, because I'm pretty sure he's going to be there with you, celebrating his birthday with you. So please don't forget, any of you out there with your loved ones, celebrate their anniversaries, celebrate their birthdays, just celebrate, because we're celebrating life after all. Yes, Chris.
Sarah's asking about the webinar on Saturday. She's working. Can I buy tickets and watch after?
You tell me, Chris.
Well, right now we are videotaping it, but we haven't made the decision since this is our pilot. We want to go through it and watch it and see how it pans out as to whether we want to do that or not. That's as much as I know.
Okay. Then let's just say this. If yes, 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 you can buy a ticket, but when you buy a ticket, you need to let us know that you are not going to be present on the day, because we count the numbers on the day, and we'll also need to send you the recording. So you can purchase the ticket, and if things go as we hope they will go, we can absolutely send you the recording. Absolutely, we can, provided it goes as well as we hope it does, right, Chris?
And that they're not sending it out to anyone else.
And who's
So if a person has a video themselves, you don't want them sending it out to the world.
no? If you can, if you can be respectful that this is something that we we do. It is only available to those who do purchase tickets. So I'm going to say tentatively, yes, you can. But if you email the office and explain what it is that you'd like to do, if you email today, we can figure it out before Saturday, and we can make our I think we'll make our decision on an individual basis. Don't you think that's a good compromise there, Chris?
I do think so.
Yeah. So if you email us, and we'll tell you, how to purchase a ticket, and if we can help you out and do that for you. Yes, absolutely. We'll do our best. Okay, we've not had a request like that, have we yet? So
No, not yet.
That's interesting. Okay.
Francesca says, I hope to see you one day. You are an angel.
Oh, Francesca, keep it coming. I love these compliments. Thank you so much. Well, you can't see me. I'm here now. You can see me now. It's a shame because I was talking through email to a friend of mine who I was supposed to be with this year, because we had planned a trip to Italy and then a trip to England, and I was going once again with my daughter and my grandson, but because of COVID and everything, we had to cut that short. But I don't know where you are, Francesca. I don't know which part of the world you're in even, but hopefully we'll be doing that same trip next year. So we're not too far to go. Christmas is coming, and once Christmas is here, then things speed on, don't they? It's not that far till next year now. I forgot to feed my Christmas cake, Chris, at the weekend. Can you
Oh,
believe it?
no.
I got so involved in laundry and cleaning out cupboards, drawers, and things, all the exciting stuff you can think of, and knitting, of course. Would you like to see my grandson's sweater, everybody? So sort of fairly. You might think it's fairly boring. I don't think it's fairly boring at all. What do you think, Chris?
I think it's amazing when you can look at all those. Just hold it still so people can zone in on. There you go.
Yeah. All right.
Look at all those squares. That's
Yeah,
fabulous.
it takes me longer to figure out the pattern that I'm going to do than it does to actually knit it. But anyway, so I've got to knit him a couple of sweaters. So I didn't get around to doing so many things that I really need to do. Why am I even? Oh yes, the feeding of the Christmas cake. Nothing to do with anything at all. I'm also going to be making hobnobs this weekend. I bet you want to know what a hobnob is, don't you, Chris?
We absolutely do.
Well, I'm not going to tell you right now.
Oh, great.
All of you in England watching, you know, don't you? I'm going to see if I can perfect my own recipe with my own little twist. Okay, keep the questions coming, Chris.
Okay, Kay Bale is on. Good morning. I know and have a close relationship with an angel, but should I be open to a spirit guide? There is a Native American associated with our land, former Seven Nations territory, that may want more.
Okay, if you have this connection with your angel, whether your angel is an ancestor or whoever that might be for you, if you have this relationship, why would you be looking outside of that relationship for something else? I have a relationship with Grey Eagle. It has never occurred to me to ever look elsewhere. The relationship that I have with him is extremely satisfying. He gives me everything that I need. Not always what I want, but he always gives me what I need, by the way. And I would never think, and it's not about being disloyal. It's not about keeping the loyalty or being disloyal. It's about the needs and the wants that we have. And Grey Eagle uh, completely fulfills my needs in a spiritual sense, in giving me that, helping me to find that spiritual awareness, and helping me with those in the spirit world. Because when I talk to people in the spirit world, Grey Eagle is right by my side and helping and guiding me. So I'm not really sure why you would want to find someone else. So I think maybe you need to think about that and then make your own decision. If you are not fulfilled by the connection that you have, then maybe you should be looking somewhere else. But I'm not quite sure why you would. You just told us that you have a very special and wonderful relationship, so I'm not quite sure why you would want more than that. Anyway, Chris.
Francesca's saying, I lost my mom in December with cancer. She was very young and I miss her. She's asking for a message.
Well, Francesca, you know perfectly well, I think, that your mom is right by your side. And I don't know, I can't think why I just pulled out my knitting, which just happens to be at my feet, except that apparently I am told by Grey Eagle that you have a creativity within you and you're not using it correctly or fully or as well as you could. So I'd like you to think about that, and your mom would like you to think about that. Maybe she feels that you need to, uh, let's say, explore more or do more with those creative talents that you have. And I, for one, Francesca, want to hear what those creative talents might entail. Chris.
Adrian saying, good morning. What are your thoughts on this COVID vaccine? I don't feel good about it.
I don't know a great deal about it. I think that I know that scientists all over the world have been working like crazy to find ways and means of figuring this out. But it's like anything else. It's like when we had the influenza vaccine, and we now anybody over the age or a certain age is suggested that they should have a flu shot and so on and so forth. And what is that? It's not just flu, is it? It's something else. I mean, nobody wanted that. Now everybody wants it. It's going to be the same thing. I think it needs to be tested. I think it needs to be explored. But obviously, we need something, don't we? We need something because there are so many people out there who are still so terrified of this thing that is going around. I am not one of those people who is terrified. I'm not one of those who would necessarily want the vaccine. But every person has to decide these things for themselves. And it's like any new drug, any new thing that comes along, you have to make those decisions for your own self. So I'm not a scientist. I wouldn't have it myself simply because I don't take medicines of any kind. And even if I have a raging headache, if you see me take an aspirin, I'm sick. So if you see me, take something for my back, it's got to be really, really bad for me to do it. I don't care for drugs of any kind, but I am very aware that there are so many people out there who need them. And, thank goodness for the medical profession, and thank goodness for their innovation. And let's support the medical profession who are trying to do their best for us. Chris.
Sarita is on.
Good morning.
From Wales. You're looking as beautiful as ever, darling. I have a question. I was wondering who my guardian angel is. I feel love and peace sometimes, and a feeling of being wrapped in a tickly soft feathers. I was wondering if Grey Eagle could tell me who it is.
Well, let me see. A grandmother comes to mind right away. You've got a wonderful family in the spirit world. Boy, your family is a complicated one. When I look at your ancestors and I'm talking to Greg about your ancestors, they can be pretty complex and complicated, but there is this lovely uh, lady who is often with you and often stands by you. And I just feel that she has such a lovely smile. And I'm told, look, you're from Wales, so you understand if I say a great voice. Yeah, I think you have a sort of like a mother, grandmother figure who is very, very close to you, and apparently held you when you were a baby. So, you have to search for it, but don't doubt that you are well loved by many people, actually. Chris.
Betta says, "Dear lovely Rosemary, I would like to know if my grandmother is proud of me, the person I am today, and if she has any advice for my life."
Oh, straight away, yes, you know that anyway. You know that she's proud of you. Why are you asking me a question you already know the answer to? However, the advice is, um, sweetie, there has been so much trauma in the past, and you have not always been strong. You've not always been able to be strong. And the advice is keep being strong. Keep on being strong. It's the only way you'll move forward. And don't be afraid to be a little bit selfish with your own self and your own wants and needs. That's been your mistake in the past, always considering somebody else before yourself. Don't do it anymore. Don't do it. By all means, don't disregard other people. Don't be considerate. Don't not be considerate to other people. But you've got to put yourself first sometimes too. That's the advice. There you are. I love this, Chris. I'm getting so many compliments today. I'm like sunshine. I'm dear, lovely Rosemary. I do love these compliments. Thank you, everybody. Right, keep going, Chris, before my head explodes off the sofa. Can you just?
All right, Ravi, Ravi, Ravi
Good
is
morning,
on.
Robbie.
Lovely to see your bright and energetic face. What is the message from Gray Eagle with respect to my career? I feel lost and confused.
Well, you're lost and confused because you sort of like buzzing around in your head all the time. Buzz, 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 buzz all the time. You need to sit quietly, ask yourself what it is that you really want out of life. I know that it's not always easy for people to do something that they like doing because we have to eat, we have to pay the bills, and sometimes we have to do things that we really don't want to do in order to make sure that we do feed ourselves, we do pay the bills, we are able to take care of our family. But I don't think you've ever really sat quietly, Ravi, in your life. Will you sit quietly? Give your head a break. Give your mind a break. I love the fact that you're busy. I love the fact that you've got a mind that is a working mind. But really, you need to sit back, preferably by the ocean. And if you can't actually manage the ocean itself, put some scene on the TV. You can always find something. Sit quietly, listen to the waves. Allow the winds of heaven to dance between you and your fate. Allow yourself to be guided into what it is that you need to do. Stop jumping from thing to thing. Sit back, take a breath, and allow the winds of heaven to dictate where it is that they're going to take you next. Yes, Chris.
All right, I'm
I
giving
love
you
that phrase. It's one of my favorite phrases. It is, I do believe that it's a Buddhist saying. To allow the winds of heaven to dance between you and your fate means literally to let God and to let those winds of heaven, to let that energy, that God force, that God energy blow around you. Let it breathe. Let that energy breathe. Let it lift you. Let it take you where it is that you need to go. Stop fighting. Stop pushing for what it is that you want. Take a breath. And you could say this, I could say this to all of you. Sit back, take a breath. Let the energy flow. Allow the winds of heaven to literally, literally wave between you and your fate. Let the winds take you where they need to, and it will settle your mind. And if you do it often enough, you will absolutely know where the next step is or what it is that you need to do next without all the confusion without all the what ifs and the, well, what if I do this, what happens next, and so on. Just take a breath and be still. Allow the winds of heaven to dance between you and your fate. Yes, Chris.
I wanted to give you a heads up that it's 1 minute before 12.
Okie dokie.
One more question then?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning, fellow Rosemary. So this is from Rosemary. I just
Good
miss my
morning.
mom so much. Does my mom have a message for my son who could really use a word?
I was going to say it's 1 minute to 12 and we don't really have the time, but apparently Greg has put his hand on my shoulder, so apparently we do have the time. Here is a message for your son, your lovely, lovely son. You know, he can be his own worst enemy, apparently, can't he? And so he can, you know, sometimes just do things without thinking. Again, he needs to step back. I'm right back to the previous message, but the message is if he allows himself to breathe and if he allows himself to take his time, to not allow other people to bring him down and to influence him so much as he does tend to do, if he allows himself to breathe and just to be himself, and if he can understand that being himself is enough for all of those people out there who don't think he's enough for them, let them go then, because you don't need people in your life who don't think you're enough. He is enough. He will find someone who believes in him and who believes that he's enough. I do hope this message helps you, and I do hope it's hitting home. I feel that it should. But he can be and do whatever he wants to be and whatever he wants to do. He just has to learn to, you know, stop trying to please everybody else and just focus on himself for a little while. Yes, Chris, I think that's it, right?
That is.
So instead of story time this Saturday, we will be doing our seminar, our what is it?
Our webinar?
Our webinar, which is really a seminar. It's a 2-hour seminar. We'll be doing that. These tickets are still available. Chris has just put up the link. All you have to do is click on the link and it will take you to eventbrite.com, where you'll be able to type in my name and still purchase tickets. So it starts at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday morning. So you've still got time to get your tickets if you would like to. We're going to have a blast. We're going to have lots and lots of fun, aren't we, Chris? We're going to be just really loving this new phase. We have webinars planned one a month at least for now. We have one a month, and I mentioned next month, October, we're going to be having a webinar on healing. We're also going to be having in December. It's Christmas. We have to have a webinar on angels, don't we? And as I've seen many of them, and I've been fortunate enough and lucky enough to connect with them, we're going to be talking about angels, the different types of angels that there are. You're asking me, what? Are there different types of angels? Actually, yeah, there are. We're going to be talking a little bit about earth angels and so on and so forth. But this week, this Saturday, we are going to be talking about the myths of mediumship. We're going to be talking about what mediumship is about. We're going to be talking about, you know, if a medium tells us this or that, what does that mean? I'm going to be dispelling some of the ideas. I'm going to be helping people to understand what it is that they need to be looking for when they search out a medium. We're going to be talking about all of that stuff. And of course, there will be questions. We'll have a chat room and there'll be questions. And Chris is going to be one of our facilitators along with my friend Al. And so we're hopefully going to have a blast. For the lovely lady who said, I want to, but I can't because I'm working, please email us, and Chris will get the email and we'll be able to sort it out and see if we can come to some idea of what we can do for you. I think that's it, Chris, for now, right? So
yes.
I'd like to say thank you to Chris. Thank you to all of you out there. Thank you to my lovely Gregor, who is, as always, as you know, standing to my right side. Thank you, all of you, for joining. I do appreciate your help, your support. I love your lovely comments. Think of me this weekend. We're going to be doing the webinar, but I'm going to be making hobnobs as well, and I might even tell you what that means at some point in the next few days. In fact, if you like to sort of stream it, you may see that I'm making hobnobs tomorrow, or maybe Saturday, who knows, Saturday. So I'll be restreaming what I'm doing just to show you what it is that I'm doing. I'm excited about that too. In the meantime, if you cannot join us for our webinar, please have a very blessed rest of today, and have a very blessed weekend, everybody. For those of you who are joining us, I'm so excited. I'm so excited, looking forward to talking to you all and seeing you in a whole different environment. And then that's it. We're not quite sure about story time. We might have to forego story time this week, but we'll be back next Saturday with our story time continuing on as usual. If you need to know any more about me, or what I'm up to, or the books that I've written, or any of that stuff, email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. We will answer you as soon as we possibly can. Give us a few days to do that. But if you have emailed me in the past and you've never had a reply, can you just email me again? Keep emailing me. I promise you we will reply to you. But we've sort of discovered that there have been a few glitches in the past. So again, if you want a consultation, if you want to know more about my books, you want to know more about my healing meditations, and on it goes, or you want to know more about the webinars, again, email me, Rosemary at rosemaryaltea.com. In the meantime, all of you are joining my webinar on Saturday. I look forward to seeing you. And please, all of the rest of you, have a very, very blessed rest of the day, all of you out there, and have a very blessed weekend, everybody. Bye-bye.